I know
Hey, how
we had
are
a lot.
you?
We had a lot of energy when we were talking. So stuff like this happens. What are you going to
Yeah,
do?
internet went out, but I'm back. I'm back and
Good,
I'm here.
brother.
Thank you so
Good to
much for
have you. First
having
of all, let
me.
me introduce you properly. Where I was just kind of talking with everybody, and this is Danny Scholes. You guys, I met Danny. We were in a clubhouse room together, and when he was holding the room, him and I just kind of connected, spent some time getting to know each other, followed each other on all the social media platforms, had some conversations. I was interviewed by him on his podcast that he does. Truly honored to be part of that. And here we are. Now he's part of what I'm doing because there's so much value that we want to give everybody. And Danny he's a master at doing that. So before I bring Danny on officially, let me just tell you who he is. As I was finding out about him and I have a lot of similarity, a lot of synchronicity. That's probably why I'm so excited to bring him on the show with you. NLP master trainer, NLP. He's also a hypnotherapist, looks like I am. He's in the coaching space, online, offline coaching, affiliate marketing, which I'm getting into affiliate marketing as well. So just a powerhouse. Does lots of trainings, a lot of mindset information to help people just become the best version of themselves. And Danny, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. I've been following you on this thing called TikTok, and I'm digging what you're doing, brother. I feel your energy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, man. It's like we're just like kindred spirits. We were connected by Clubhouse, and it's just amazing because like Tony mentioned, we have so many similarities. He does a lot of great motivation and meditation work, and I'm really all about the mindset too. So it's a pleasure to be here with you, with your audience, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I want to jump right into it because I made the post about have these two Jedis that are coming together. We play in this space where we're dealing with forces that you cannot see, and we're manipulating people's minds. And how did you do that? And why people are looking over there, we fix something over here. So I wanted to really talk about kind of like for you when you're working with people, like what is the common thread? What's the biggest challenge that you see when you're moving through all of the information that you're being given, but what's underneath all of that? Like, what's the biggest challenge people are facing right now that you've seen?
I mean, for me, like I deal with a lot of coaches and people that are trying to start their business and they have these like limiting beliefs. They deal with imposter syndrome a lot because it's like, they may have had success in private sector, but then it's like now I'm trying to start something on my own. How do I compete with people? How do I charge what I'm worth? What if people won't like my message? So I think the biggest thing that I always deal with, especially in the beginning of coaching entrepreneurs, whether it be just mindset or business, we always kind of start with limiting beliefs because so many of us have them. And the thing with limiting beliefs, it's like a script that just kind of runs around in the background of our lives, right? It dictates our actions and our behaviors and our thoughts. And oftentimes people don't realize that limiting beliefs were really created throughout our whole life, but mostly stem from our childhood, and they're really put in place to kind of keep us safe and keep us protected, right? Like when you look back to when you were a kid, you probably may have been told like you need to be quiet when company's coming over, right? Or stay out of the way. And, to keep yourself safe, you create a limiting belief. And what that does is it stems into, you know, now I'm growing up and I feel a little shy. I don't want to participate when, someone nominates me to go play basketball. I grow up and I don't want to, ask for that promotion at my job, even though I know I deserve it. Or I don't want to start my business because I have this limiting belief that I should be quiet and I should stay in the background. So the biggest thing that I always tend to work on in the beginning is just helping people smash limiting beliefs, because at the end of the day, even though they're there to keep you safe, it doesn't mean that they have to be true. You don't have to believe that you need to kind of stay out of the way, and you could actually come to the forefront and step into your power.
Yeah, I've seen that with my granddaughter. Like I have my beautiful granddaughter. She's 8 years old. She comes over to my house. I think we adopted her. I really think that she's actually part of the house now. But like she'll say something, like I'll play music for her or something, and I'll go, "Hey, Sophia, come play with me. Come sit down here." And she's like, "No, I'm shy." I'm like, "What?" You get in your little four-wheeler, you start knocking doors, asking for people to come out and play. It's like, so yeah,
Right.
it's really interesting. What types of strategy, if you, without giving away all your secrets, your Jedi secrets, but what kind of strategy do you use to help somebody go, oh shoot, like I wasn't even aware that comment that father made, or my best friend said that like those jeans don't look good on you, right? And they're
Right.
carrying these thoughts and this pattern with them. Is there any type of technique or strategy that you use to kind of help people see that and feel that and deal with
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, in the beginning, we always go through my timeline reset, and it's a little bit of a hypnotherapy. And what I do in the beginning is like what we call the pour out. So it's kind of like, well, tell me what is holding you back, right? And what else, and what else, and we really try to like dig into the problem. And why do you feel that this problem is stemming? Where did it come from? Well, let's look back to your childhood. How were you treated as a child? What kind of things hindered your growth? And then once we can kind of establish what the root cause is, whether it's a negative emotion or limiting beliefs, I tend to put them through a little bit of a trance. It's a soft like trance where I guide them through what I like to call their life's library, where they go into a filing cabinet and they actually pull out the limiting beliefs, and we replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. So it's like, go into that drawer. I want you to find that drawer that says, I am not good enough. Now, what does that book look like? What does it feel like? Is it a rigid book? Hold that book, and when we're ready, let's shred it. Let's go to that big industrial shredder that you have in your mind, and let's shred that book together. Now let's replace that book with a more empowering one. What does that look like? Oh, it's a beautiful gold book. Okay, great. Let's put that into your life draw. And then once we kind of take them through that sequence, it's really a matter of putting it into practice. So now that you have these more empowering feelings and you no longer feel like you're being hindered of, I can't be successful. Now you feel like success is running to you. Let's prove it. What's an actionable step that you can take right now that will prove to yourself and prove to the universe that you are ready to embrace this new and empowering vision of yourself?
Yeah, see, it's so powerful. It's like the greatest teacher, the greatest doctor, the greatest whatever is already inside us, right? Like we know the answer. Unfortunately, there's these layers, I call the layers of the onion, where we have to, people
Right, you
go,
got to
well,
peel it.
you gotta peel it. And it's
Yeah,
crazy because it's never what people think that it is. It's never, more times than not, as you pull back the layers, when you get down to the root of it, it's like, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like I am still even holding on to that, which led to this, which led to this, which led to this. And now by the end of, the layers, now that little thing is now festered. And there's a lot of weight between what happened and where you're at, and you got to dig deep for people. And
right.
it's such, when I do hypnotherapy as well, when you see people have like that epiphany or that pop where they come out of it and like, oh my gosh, and they
Right.
feel cleansed and detoxed, and they see the truth of it all, and they feel stronger because of it. It's such a powerful gift, brother. So I love it, man. I always make the comment that I wish hypnotherapy and NLP and these strategies and tech were taught like in school. Like we should teach
Yeah.
this stuff to our kids, how to sleep at night. Something as simple like people don't know counting sheep is a form
Right.
of it's a form of pre-talk for hypnosis.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we should teach this stuff to people, because then something happens, you can sit there and go, okay, this feels awkward. What can I do? What resource do I have? What teaching do I have that I can pull from to help me cope with that and deal with that?
Yeah, like for me, I fell in love with NLP when I was doing sales, right? And the reason I fell in love with it is I loved like the persuasion tactics and being able to use certain words and terminology to, take someone from one point to another. And that's kind of where I first fell in love with NLP. But I like really took a deep dive in it when I shifted away from working in an office and managing sales to actually becoming a coach. And that's where I, really took NLP seriously and got into hypnotherapy and guided meditations. And there's just such power in that. There's a lot of power in the way we vibrate in our voice, in the way that we can motivate and inspire people. But yeah, I think it's something that, more people should know about. And you're right. They should be teaching this in school when we're young.
Yeah, we have to. In fact, one of the things I always encourage people is, we are so good if we apply ourselves and so ready and available to receive something new. One of my big things is growth. Like, what are you learning today? What are you experiencing today? What are you doing to stretch yourself? And learning something like this is a lifelong skill. Like learning how to handle and emotions and feelings and how to be able to deal with things instantly versus having things fester. You guys, this is utopia for people. And that's why some people you see, they're at this clip and they're just, everything in their life is beautiful. They got the material things, if that's what you're into. They've got the relationship, they've got the business, they've got balance, they've got harmony. You're going, how is that possible? And it's possible because there's a lot of work behind the scenes that's been done, whether it be through coaching, mentorship, teaching. I have coaches, you have coaches. Like you have to have people in your corner that supports you, that can guide you through this, right? Which is what you do.
I mean, everyone needs a coach, right? I mean, you look at like some of the most famous people in the world, right? Muhammad Ali had a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. Tony Robbins has like 10 different coaches, and he's a master NLP practitioner, right? So, the biggest thing is, number one, it's just looking for the help, and it's coming to that realization that I can benefit from having someone guide me. We've all been in that dark place. We've all been in a place where we feel stuck. Sometimes you just need someone to kind of hold you by the hand and pull you through, right? Number one, it's just a matter of, I realize that I need the help. And then two, it's a matter of like seeking out that help. And then three, it's a matter of implementing the actual coaching and the help that you're getting, because we have the power to reframe our thoughts. I can wake up today and have a bad day, or I can wake up and reframe my thought process and say, you know what, just because I got out of bed and stubbed my toe, right? It doesn't mean that the rest of the day is just going to unfold terribly. It's a matter of like how we can't control what happens to us, right? At any given moment, things will happen out of the blue, but we have the power to choose how we react and what will happen next. So it's just a matter of making that choice. Are you going to let the fact that you stubbed your toe, you dropped coffee on your shirt, ruin the rest of your day? You don't have to, and there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah. In fact, I wrote a book, and the first chapter in the book is choose. It's our biggest superpower. If we really go, okay, what are my superpowers? Yeah, I make people smile. I'm happy all the time. My positivity, I ward off evil spirits because I'm so happy, whatever that is for you. Right. But at the end of the day, that power of choice, like we're the only creatures on the planet that actually have the ability, not instinctively, but just to say, look, I'm going to let that affect me. I'm not going to let that affect me. I want to be happy, or I don't want to be happy. I mean, at anything, something terrible happens on the outside, we have that choice to go, am I going to allow that affect me or not? And that's what's so beautiful. And when people discover that, and again, they have to do the work that, what you and I do, they have to surrender to the work. They have to surrender to the process. And, instead of investing that money, this month or the next 2 months on that thing that you're trying to get from a material standpoint, like invest in yourself. Because if it is a material thing you're after, if it is validation of something that you're trying to prove, you might discover when you're doing your coaching that really doesn't even matter. Like why am I in pursuit of that? I personally, from a business standpoint, I've had all the big things. I've had the cars, the homes, and I'm more happy now in a state of happiness and knowing and truth and remembering what it's like to live than it was when I was grinding and pulling and tugging and squeezing and proving, looking for acceptance and all that, So for you, what is it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, like, I totally agree with you because, I left a position of managing 300 people in Wall Street to, in high-level sales to actually go and start a coaching business from the ground up. And, it was tough at first, but I love the fact that I'm able to spend time at home. Like I always joke around with my clients and I say like, excuse me, but you may hear my little kids in the background and they may be running around, but I love that because there was a point just 3-4 years ago where I was spending 60, 70 hours a week away from the kids, and I love that. So it's just really a matter of kind of like falling in love, right, with the process.
Yeah, I know. I remember on Clubhouse, it's like, excuse me, guys, I'll be back in a minute. Excuse me, guys, I'll be back in a minute. Now, it sounded like you had like 37 or 38 kids. How many do you have in your house? Because it was loud.
I've got a tribe here, and I have three. I
love it. It's great. Is there something that you can teach us. So you have somebody that's, you have people that are watching this, they're going, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. Makes sense. The hypnotherapy, we have our own superpower. We can make choices. We can decide all that. But I still don't sleep at night because I'm always thinking about this, or I still, when I look in the mirror, I'm not happy. Or is there something is there a Jedi mind trick that we can teach somebody tonight to just kind of help ease a lot of that and have them practice on something? I'm putting you on the spot there.
No, I love it. I love it. I mean, I think the biggest thing, number one, is to really be mindful of the words you speak, right? Because what you put out in the universe comes back to you. So, you have to understand that we really are where we are today because of everything that we've been saying and manifesting throughout our entire lives. So if we come from the place of saying, well, I'm not enough, then we act from that belief system, right? Because the words we use are strongly connected to our future self. So if you think negative thoughts and you speak them out loud, you are literally just asking for that energy to come right back into your life. If you think about it, it's like we can't talk about how much we lack in life and then expect to have abundance come to us, right? Because that negative state is what we manifest, and what we believe is what we achieve. What we perceive is what becomes real. It's all about the law of attraction. So the biggest thing, number one, Jedi mind trick, is just because a negative thought pops into your mind at this very moment, it doesn't mean that you have to believe it, right? So don't allow negative words to really just prevent you from becoming the person that you were destined to be. It's really simple, guys. If you want to live a positive life, you have to start by thinking positive thoughts, right? One thing that I always do is I practice positive affirmations, right? You mentioned looking in the mirror. I wake up and I have a conversation with myself every day in the mirror, as crazy as that sounds, right? I look and I talk to myself, and I practice the I am mindset. So instead of like, I need this to happen, or I would like this to happen, I shift my words to say I am. So it's not, I would like to be successful. I shift it to I am having success come to me. I am helping others achieve, and that's how I will achieve. So it's just really a matter of practicing those positive affirmations, really being mindful of the thoughts you have and the words that you speak. And over time, you'll see how you can shift the narrative and really start to embrace a higher version of yourself.
Yeah, dude, that's so powerful, so strong. I talk about that narrative when I'm working with people. I also talk about the story that we tell ourselves. The story that we have told over and over and over again. Well, I've got a bad back, or I've got this, or, I was raised like this, or I had this happen to me as a kid. And, that just stays with us. Our issues are in our tissues, right? So if that's indeed the case, when we start to, do something and we have this feeling like, oh, I don't feel good in this dress, or I don't feel happy, doing this, and we start to doubt, it's like we have to recognize that something is off. And one of the things I teach, that's why it's called tuning into your desired life, right? So how do we stay tuned in to really what you're talking about, which is the shifting of the narrative, the changing, the reprogramming, the getting the new codes, the new upgrade, whatever you want to call it, so that you start to take on a different persona, right? A different personality, which affects your personal reality. So if we start to change that, everything around us changes. Like I'm a happy person, just like you are. And so when somebody comes at me guns a-blazing, it's like, I don't even hear it, because I'm such in a different vibration or frequency than they are.
Right.
And one or two things are going to happen. One is they're going to go, whoop, all right, I'm going somewhere else. Or two, they're going to adjust to me. What I will never do is adjust if I'm in a space,
right,
and drop the bottom out of what I'm feeling to accommodate somebody, right? So, that's again another that's another superpower. It's another Jedi mind trick. It's like, don't rain on my parade.
Yeah, 100%. Right. I mean, it's like you said, being tuned in, right? Your soul dialed into your vibration, that no matter what gets thrown at you, it may just kind of throw you off guard in the moment, but you're so in tune to be able to say, no, I'm not coming down to this level. I'm not going to let this negative energy, bring me down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to elevate that negative energy to match my positive energy. And in essence, you're helping someone else to reframe their thoughts.
Yeah. It's taken a lot of work because a
Yeah,
lot of
it's not
people,
easy.
yeah, I mean, well, a lot of people, and especially if we come out of the year that we just came out of, and we're still in it, right? So we're still in
Right.
this roller coaster, which we'll probably be in for the humanity's existence, right? So in one way or another, we're always going to be on this ride. And what we have to know is, again, with the choice, with the belief in self, with knowing your truth. I talk about truth a lot. That's why it says on the screen here, remember your truth, like knowing the truth, like who you truly are. This is what you need to develop. These are the skills, these are the tools you need to develop. And if you don't have them developed, you have to find someone that can help you, someone that you can, here's the big word, surrender to, so that when you are working with this person, like you're not holding on to stuff. So like you were saying earlier,
Right.
Danny, like you ask them a question and then you ask them another question and you go with the question, you keep going deeper. And if someone's not willing to surrender and unveil that, then they're never going to get the root to their challenge that they're having. They're never going to really
Right.
have the, what I call the pop that they're going to have. So what we're talking about, you guys, is an opportunity for you. You guys know the answers. You know everything. You're the most intelligent technology on the planet, these little vehicles that we lug around, our brains or everything, right? So we just got to figure out how to operate with them. We have to figure out, what kind of fuel to put in, what kind of fuel not to put in, which is, if everything's a frequency, everything's a vibration, what are you putting in? What are you removing, in your life? So cool. So anything else you want to share on the topic? I know you and I can talk for days on this
hours.
because it's just, it's something that you're passionate about and I'm passionate about too. What is your biggest satisfaction doing what you're doing?
To be honest, it's just to see people change, because like so many people come to me kind of beaten up, and they have self-doubts and they hold themselves back from really, stepping into a higher version of themselves. And to be honest, like so many times it's just a matter of helping someone become a better best friend with themselves, because we overlook that so much, right? Especially even us as coaches. It's like we spend so much time being present for other people, right? And trying to help other people, but we often forget to cherish ourselves and to love ourselves instead. And so, like, what's our human nature, right? So many times as people, what we do is we don't celebrate our wins. We actually beat ourselves down every time something doesn't go right, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to do this live with Tony and my internet went out. Oh man, it's the end of the world, right? Instead of saying, you know what, I'm actually honored to be here and to speak to his audience. And I feel like I can actually shed some good light to them. So it's really a matter of getting back to celebrating your wins. Every small win is a win that helps you grow. So don't just focus on the negative. Don't just focus on beating yourself up. Really focus on falling in love with yourself again. Like a lot of times with people that I coach, I ask them, like, when was the last time you practiced a self date or just, time for yourself? And they're like, well, what do you mean? Yeah, like literally just spend 10 minutes looking at the clouds, right? Like things that we used to do as a kid. Take your shoes and socks off, walk around barefoot for a little while, listen to the sounds of the trees, right? Go on your back and watch the clouds and just dream, because it's like we don't do that anymore. Why? Because life gets in the way, right? And everything is so fast paced. Got to go to work, got to come home, got to deal with the kids, got to deal with work, got to deal with business, got to deal with stress, got to pay bills, got to do this, got to do that. But actually just stop for a moment and really just fall in love with that very moment, right? Yeah. The fact that you're breathing is a gift. The fact that you're here is a gift. So it's just a matter of getting in tune, falling in love with yourself and realizing what your purpose is, and then sharing that gift with the world.
Yeah, that whole idea, man, Danny, you must have a lot of people in your corner that you talk to that end up in my corner as well. It's like when you say, when's the last time that you did something amazing to yourself, for yourself? When's the last time that you loved yourself? And you get this pause, like this deer in the headlights look, like what? Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know what that means. And especially like a lot of women who are so amazing at giving so much of themselves to everyone else, that when somebody gives something to them or they do something nice for themselves, they feel guilty. It's like, oh, you don't mean that. Oh no. And they try to deflect it, somewhere else. And so we have to fall in love with the child. We have to fall in love with the kid that we are, the one that plays, the one that takes their shoes off, the one that asks questions, why can't I like be that person again? Like, why is this happening? What can we have to get back to what we know is our truth and what we remember. And what we remember when we were born, we were perfect. And then that innocence, the new life, the celebration, all of that. And then something happened along the way. We got to go back to that. And we have to be willing to realize that we're off, like our frequency's off, like things haven't been right. Maybe they haven't been right. Maybe they've been so off for so long that we've even forgot what it's like to feel good. Like, I can't remember the last day I felt good. Like, that's a challenge, my friends. Like, if you cannot remember like the last time that you were in a state of happiness and joy and peace and love, like that is a sign, and you got to stop time and figure out, what can I do in this moment? What do I need to read? What do I need? Who do I need to talk to? Like, what do I need this moment to figure it out?
So true. So true.
I know. I want to keep going. I know you've got dinner with family and things like that. I'm just so honored, and I'm sure people are going to want us to do something together. I know you and I are going to be working together. My big word for 2020 was collaboration, and my big word for 2021 is intention. And so I'm going to be very intentful in making sure that you and I collaborate on something massive, because it's so important. It's so important that we stay in our gift zone, and because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are needing information right now. They're needing guidance. That are needing support.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm like I said, I feel like we're just kindred spirits that were brought together. So we have to use our gifts. There's a lot more power in collaborating. You know what I mean? So anything that I can do, Tony, I'm always here. I'm always a message away.
I love it, brother. Okay, so I know people want to know how to find you. So what is the best way to figure out where you're at now? You can follow him on TikTok. However, just be prepared that he's learning dancing. So just be prepared.
Yeah, a little known fact. I used to actually be a breakdancer in the streets of New York City as a teenager. So, TikTok kind of brought that back out of me, like a 20-year hiatus. I kind of dusted off the dance shoes a little bit. But
you are good. You're better than me.
I mean, you can find me on Facebook. It's Danny Skulls. On Instagram, I'm Dream Clients Accelerator. That's actually the name of my coaching group. And on TikTok, you could find me at Mindset Manifestation Mastery. But yeah, I mean, like I have a couple free Facebook groups too. I do some guided meditation work. I also have a YouTube page, which is also Mindset Manifestation Mastery. Like, I try to just give out as much as I can. Obviously I have like paid coaching, and I have courses on Udemy, and I've got other things that I do, but I'm really all about just giving out as much as I can to try to help people grow. So yeah, if you feel like you want to join my Facebook groups, we'd love to have you there. Check out my YouTube. And Tony, it was just such an honor to be here with you, my brother. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. And I'll post his contact information, guys, in the link in the comment section below. But Danny, it's always a pleasure. I love the tone. I love your presence. I love the energy, the frequency that you're in. It's just real. It's just real. And I'm attracted to people like you. I'm attracted to authenticity.
Likewise.
And so I thank you for your willingness to be present and give your love to your family. I know they're probably just got forks and spoons, like, where's daddy? Where's daddy? They're very quiet right now. Good.
Yeah, they're waiting for food. So
good. Well, I appreciate you, brother. You guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. This will be posted. Please feel free to share this. This is information that is going to resonate with you. And if you're friends, please feel free to share that. And if you have any questions, reach out to myself, reach out to Danny. Have a great night. Be safe. And we'll talk to you all soon. Stay in your frequency. If you don't know where that is, I'll help you raise it. We'll help you raise it. We'll get you there. Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Tony.